What is up, you sexy beasts? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Happy Monday. Another new beginning, you know? I love Mondays. Dave Castro, we all know the story. He's been fired. What has happened since the firing? We are obviously waiting for some more information from HQ. I'm assuming that at some stage, Eric Rosa will jump on camera or maybe, just release a statement or an article or something, just giving us a bit more of an understanding as to why they fired Dave Castro. Now, I just wanted to fill in some gaps, just in case you haven't seen some of the news over the last 4 or 5 days. So obviously there's a bit of uproar, on social media, mainly in the favor of Dave Castro. Most of the athletes that have spoken out, most of the kind of influential people in the space that have spoken out, it seems to have been, for Dave Castro, and that CrossFit's made a mistake to fire him. That's been the overwhelming message that I've seen. A day or two after the news broke, CrossFit Games released this little post on Instagram. It says, Dave Castro is the founder of the CrossFit Games. His contributions and creativity have inspired many to bring CrossFit into their lives and challenge their limits. He set a historic tone for the sport of fitness, and his innovations are woven into the fabric of CrossFit training, the art of programming, and the CrossFit affiliate community. We understand and acknowledge that change is difficult and that this will be an emotional time for many. We are listening to both our internal teams and the community. We are here to preserve the heart of CrossFit and help lead our sport into the future. CrossFit Games team. I don't know what to think about that. What do you think? Is that just a kind of a throwaway, PC post that just had to be done? Or do you think that's heartfelt? It's always hard when it's just, a statement like that rather than someone talking on the camera. I always prefer someone jumping on camera and actually talking through the message. So they posted that, and then the very next post was this one that says, a new era begins. I thought that was a little bit early, but anyway, that's the next post that came up. The CrossFit training Instagram account then posted this 2-minute kind of video tribute to Dave, which was nice. And Rogue Fitness released the Dave Castro t-shirt and hat on their website all around the same time. So all very, very interesting. I spend a fair bit of time on social media, and one observation I've made, it's just a theory. You guys can tell me if you think this holds true, but one thing I've noticed is that whoever speaks out first, there's always two sides to a story, right? I feel like whoever speaks out first and kind of breaks the silence, anyone that feels the same as that person has the confidence to also speak out. And so what you get is initially you get a lot of opinions from one side of the picture, one side of the coin. In this case, anyone that loved Castro and hated Rosa or thought it was a mistake, we've heard from all of those people. And so if you are of the opposing view, I feel like people are less likely to post and say what they feel because I feel like the majority of people are of the opposite thought, because that's what they're seeing on social media. There's one person though that we haven't actually heard from in a while, and that is Armen. I used to really enjoy his CrossFit commentary and kind of breakdown. He's a very straight shooter, some might say a bit negative. But Armen, after having a kid, he's kind of disappeared off YouTube, took a bit of a different direction. I see he started doing some content around being a dad. But today, he did post this, and I found it pretty interesting. It says, Dave Castro. Dave Castro was instrumental to building both CrossFit training team as well as the CrossFit Games. His hard work and vision in those endeavors are as indisputable as the results of his efforts. Only an idiot would accuse Dave Castro of not being both talented and great at his job. He's also a manipulative man who has proven himself too fragile to handle outside criticism. And gargling his balls as some paragon of character, excellence, or leadership makes you either a fool or a sycophant. What does that mean? Sycophant. A person who acts opposite. Oh, don't give me another word that I don't understand. You don't understand a word, you look it up, and the explanation of the word contains words that you also don't understand. That's the joys of being a South African. Anyway, let's move along, eh? If you're bemoaning, man, Armen's using some big words. If you are bemoaning the death of CrossFit or the Games because Dave Castro has been fired, you're either overlooking or downplaying or outright insulting the team of committed individuals who have been instrumental in executing all those events and will continue to do so. No matter what Dave Castro tried to tell you, he wasn't a one-man show wrestling chaos into order and presenting the games as a gift from God. The games will continue to be excellent. They are a product of coordination and hard work from a multitude of people, and the skills necessary to lead that team to success absolutely exists in other leaders that are already operating inside our space. Removing Dave Castro should open the door for a new, fresh, more professional CrossFit Games, uncoupled from one man's ego and free to grow both the sport and the industry. Dave Castro will be just fine. He's built a brand for himself, and he'll sell plenty of hats, shirts, and copies of whatever book is almost certainly in the pipeline. He'll have a successful follow-up regardless of what he does, whether it's inside or outside of the CrossFit space. Armen, laying it down, a very different perspective. Now, I don't know Dave. I'm not close enough to him to actually have an opinion, but obviously Armen knows something that we don't know. He obviously, for him to say that Dave is a manipulative person who can't take outside feedback, he obviously knows something or has had an experience with Dave that we haven't, or some of these other people that are praising him and mourning his loss haven't. So it's that whole perception thing, right? Perception is reality. Whatever your perception of someone is, that's your reality of that person. And obviously Armen's reality is very different to, say, someone like Sevan, who's just furious about this whole thing and convinced that CrossFit will fall apart because Dave, has been fired. I said this in my last video, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. And I really like what Craig Ritchie said on his video about Dave being fired. He just said, look, sit tight, give Rosa a chance. Craig said that he believes that Rosa really does care for CrossFit and wants to see the future of CrossFit succeed. Obviously, it's in Rosa's best interest that CrossFit and the games succeeds and moves forward. I can't imagine he's wanting it to fail. So I saw that post of Armen and I just wondered how many other people have similar views of Dave or similar feelings and haven't been confident or comfortable sharing it, because the overwhelming response so far, the public response, has been the opposite. Does that make sense? What do you think? Is that a real thing? That's the theory I have, is that whoever speaks out first, whatever the overwhelming noise is to start with, the other half of the opinion, the other half of the coin, they kind of withdraw a little bit, because they go, oh crap, everyone's for Dave. Just an observation I made. I don't have any opinions, man. I think CrossFit's amazing. And I think if you are boycotting the Open or doing anything like that, I would rethink that. Because that is, if you love CrossFit and you want to see it succeed, then it's not going to do anything. It's not going to help, boycotting or de-affiliating. I don't know where Armen's feelings come from when it comes to the personal attacks on Dave in that statement. But when he talks about the CrossFit Games and the fact that there's a multitude of people involved in running that thing and it will still run to a high standard regardless of Dave, I do agree with that. So yeah, just thought I'll do a little follow-up on the Dave Castro thing. Not a whole lot of news that has come out since then, but that was one interesting thing that happened this morning. The book club. I've seen a few people ask, hey, when are we going to discuss the book, or how are we going to discuss it? Honestly, I've never been part of a book club. I've never run a book club. So when I said let's do a book club, I literally just meant let's read a book together each month. But if you have any ideas of where can we discuss it, how can we finish the month off? I've never been on Discord. Do we start a Discord channel for the 60 Beast tribe and have a chat about the book there? I don't know. If you have any ideas, I'm open. I'm all ears. So let me know what would be helpful, what would add value to the 60 Beast book club. And we are reading it throughout the month of January. So the goal is to finish it by the end of Jan. And just to give you a heads up, that there is the book for Feb, The Happiest Man on Earth. So if you want to get ahead of the game and get your February book, what are we? We must be on the 10th today. Yeah, we're still early. It's still pretty early, but if you walk past the bookstore and you see that, pick it up. That'll be our Feb read. That's it, tribe. It's time to check in. Have a fantastic week, and I'm sure I'll see you soon. Waterpalooza's coming up. There'll be content around that. Yeah. What else can I say? What else can I do? I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to go yet. No. It's getting hot. This light is hot.